So 2 years ago, I did those small difficulty review videos. In these videos, I would have footage of a level I played through in one hit on the left side of the screen while having a wall of text on the right side, where I analyzed the gameplay and my experience with it. And looking back, these videos were not the most comfortable or entertaining thing in the world to watch. I mean, come on, nobody wants to read this much text. But I did genuinely have fun making them. I like taking a closer look at these levels and also focusing more on the gameplay rather than the design. So I wanted to continue this concept. Redoing this format of videos with voiceover was something that was in my head for a while now, but I never got around to actually doing it. But hey, here we are, and it only took me 2 years. I'll be doing things a bit differently. I won't be talking about a singular level per video, that's going to be way too short. So I'll see how things turn out with 3 levels for the start. The amount could change in the future, but this is what I'm going to stick with. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first level I want to tackle is Nhelv by Devon 1102. This first section is not all too difficult to dodge, you kinda just have to stay at the top, but for an introduction to the level, I really like it. Things get more interesting in this part. Staying at the top of the screen still applies here, although you'll have to watch the circle of bullets coming after you. Definitely more going on here. Everything is pretty readable and easily dodgeable. The beginning is not particularly difficult in this level. The attacks are pretty spread here and quite fast if you're not paying attention. I was afraid I could cheese this section by staying at the top of the screen again, but then I saw these giant helpers forcing me into the middle of the action. That's good gameplay right there. Things calm down here gameplay wise. Very minimal effort is required to dodge these attacks. When you arrive at the boss section, keep in mind that the hands don't hit you. Stay close to the boss and gain distance immediately after the 4th attack to easily avoid the bullets. After that, the attacks are simple to dodge. The helpers stay on screen for a while, so this shouldn't be an issue. One small dialogue section later, we find ourselves in the build-up for the second drop. Simple bullets once again, but note that each round of bullets is coming from a slightly different center. We get a break section which goes perfectly with the music before the build-up continues. The same principle from before applies here as well. Watch out for the attacks coming from below, they speed up the longer they travel. Here, the arrows indicate where the bullets will be firing from. Position yourself between 2 of these arrows before dashing to avoid the bullets from the other side. Then be ready because the screen is going to scroll upwards. All you have to do here is stay out of the center and dash through the rotating lasers whenever they show up. Once the boss disappears, dash directly above or below him to completely avoid the last rings of bullets. Next up we have Prism by Luminescence. The start here is a gentle intro, with attacks that don't require a lot of attention to dodge. Eventually, a bigger laser in the center will release bullets to the left and right, so make sure you have a bit of a distance. This one laser in particular splits up into various squares, so the same principle I just mentioned applies here. They are slow, so reacting to them in the first playthrough is not hard. The build-up shouldn't cause too many issues either. These bullets fly through the screen with a little wind-up, so seeing them or reacting to them could be hard. Arriving at this first drop, it's important to know that the 3D shapes are in fact in the background and will not hit you, so your focus should be on the warnings and the bullets flying. With the trail going around the screen having very forgiving helpers, the only thing you need to focus on are the bullets, which come from the top of the screen at first, and then from the left and right. At the third repetition, stay away from the center as the bullets emerge from the growing circle. These bullets are pretty fast, so don't get caught off guard. After a story sequence which lets you breathe a little bit, you get a scrolling section with lasers, bullets, and later even small windows that pop. The helpers for these could be hard to see sometimes, but if you don't get overwhelmed, you will pass. This section should feel familiar, with the center laser splitting into multiple squares from the start. The laser coming at you with a wind-up gives you enough time to anticipate and dash through it. Our second build-up features more lasers, circles, and fast projectiles zooming by. Standard stuff. Another scrolling section, dashing from box to box. Static blocking the visuals in a certain box is a really nice gimmick, although it won't get in your way all that much. Also, I was quite afraid that these background effects were actual helpers for some rotating attack. Luckily, they were not. After a pretty seamless transition, we have some horizontal action going on. I guess you could get quite unlucky with the randomization here, but it's not too bad. The ending is one of the easier sections. You have a lot of time dodging the attacks, and the helpers give you a lot of leeway. I wish that a lot of these attacks would be combined and being shot out all at once to increase the tension, but a chill ending is always welcome.
Compromised. Power save procedure.
Lastly, we have Lion's Den by Rainstar. This beginning features different types of bullets and lasers, each having their unique size, spread, and color. This is a gentle introduction as to what you'll be facing in this level. Once the green walls surround you on the left and right, things get interesting. The bullets are now ever so slightly harder to dodge because of the confined space you're in, and remember to stay pretty centered once the purple lasers start firing, because the walls will close in on you. At the transition, there's a pretty fast pulse that will end your no-hit run real fast if you're not paying attention. Other than that, standard laser dodging here. Halfway through, we switch to these tiny bullets here. Again, minimal movement is required. This part is slightly more complex. Each color represents a different attack. The red and blue ones release bullets, and the green and purple ones fire off lasers. Not much to go into here other than that. Here we have the boss building up. Nothing challenging here gameplay wise, but don't worry, that's about to change real quick. Okay, since there's a ton happening here at quite a high speed, let's rewind a bit and go through this nice and slow. This will be pretty complex since the movements of the boss don't have helpers, so a lot of this gameplay relies on memorizing the sequence of events. As the boss fight starts, you want to be directly below the boss. Dash upwards through him once he comes down, swiping his lasers at both sides. With another quick dash, position yourself above, slightly to the left or to the right of the boss to avoid the next purple attack. Don't panic here. Dodge as many of the first bullets as you can before dashing through the rest once the spinning stops. After that, stay in the vertical center of the screen. Don't be afraid to stay in the green helpers for a bit. The attacks they signal come much later. Stay away from the bottom as the red bullets emerge from there. Once the boss appears again, get away from the green helpers and stay at the bottom. Next, you just want to chill on the left side of the screen for a while before the purple helpers appear. Dash out of them while avoiding a few bullets in the process. Once the purple barrage ends, dash out of the way because the boss is going to slam down. While the blue bullets fly down from above, remember to stay away from the center of the screen because the boss comes back in from above. The second half of the fight is actually much easier, mainly because there are no onward movements you have to remember. Whenever the bullet barrages come back, just apply the same principle we talked about previously. Only dash whenever you already dodged a few, and don't panic. Other than that, it's just simply avoiding helpers. Oh yeah, one more thing before the outro. You probably already saw, but this level uses effects from the newest editor. Yeah, and I didn't know that when I first played this level. So if you're interested, this is what Lion's Den looks like in the default range. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Ranking today's levels from easiest to hardest, I would probably say it would be Prism, then Nhelv, and then Lion's Den. Regardless of the difficulty rankings, all of these levels were phenomenal. Make sure to show some love to the people who made these by watching the levels on their channel. Or better yet, go ahead and play them yourself. All of the links are in the description. I hope I can turn this into somewhat of a series with a weekly upload, but don't mark my words, I'm not good at keeping promises like this. Anyways, I hope this was enjoyable. See you next week. Hopefully.